up, gamers? Welcome to the channel. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining me. And today we have another dev update here for you guys. And this one is going to cover the 4 new units that will be playable in the next closed beta here. And so I'm going to go over all this, give you my thoughts and opinions. And if you would like to check this out for yourself, please feel free to do that. I'll leave a link in the description down below, as well as a link up here if you would like to check that out, give them your honest thoughts and feedback and everything. But if you haven't seen any of my previous dev update videos that I've done, please feel free to go back and check those out. I'll leave a link to those as well right up here for you, and that'll kind of help get you up to speed on all the information and news that's been dropped since the last beta. If you like and enjoy this type of thing, please, if you could like the video and subscribe to the channel, I'd very much appreciate that. Or also leave a comment down below. That would help a lot, and I'd very much appreciate that. Anyways, let's jump into this here then and see what they have to say. Hello everyone, we'd like to talk about the new units coming soon to the next closed beta test today. And so first up here, looks like we have the Knight. It's going to cost 200 matter, and then it's also going to count as 4 units, looks like. It's ground type, big, tax ground only, and the Knight is the first big tier 1 unit in battleaces, so that'll be very interesting. Let's see what else they have to say here. Knight is a matter only big tier 1 unit. We found this unit really changes up how we go about deck building because it's the first non-small tier 1 unit in battleaces. So there's strong versus splash that used to counter all tier 1 units so far, and are very weak versus anti-big units such as the destroyer or the butterfly. We have been trying both the Knight and Crossbow combo, as well as bringing in a small tier 1 unit along with the Knight to play a bit more of a reactive gameplay, even starting from tier 1, depending on if the enemy is teching splash or anti-big in games. Also, what's important to keep in mind is there are a lot of nuances to using the Knight well enough in situations where the counters are in play. For example, they do have a movement speed advantage over many other units in the game, meaning fights can be avoided while teching to something else. Destroyers counter Knights quite hard, but you can combo the Knight with units that are exceptionally fast at taking care of destroyers such as bombers. If the enemy has brought in a tier 3 anti-big unit, such as Advanced Blink or Advanced Destroyer, you could consider bringing in and teching small units such as Assault Bots to fully stop producing Knights altogether. There looks to be a lot of different ways to play with the Knight, so we're looking forward to what else players find in the next beta test. We've located the Knight as being unlockable as the first reward in the Warpath system, so that everyone can try them out easily as early as the first day they start playing the next beta. Alright, so first of all, that's cool. I think that they will be making these easy, quick and easy to unlock right off the start in the next closed beta, so that'll be fun. This actually might be one of the units that I'm kind of looking forward to the most. It was very interesting in the first closed beta with every core unit, tier 1 core unit, being a small unit. They were easily countered by most splash units in the game, and so I always found it extremely important to have a splash unit in my deck. You know, everybody had to run some kind of tier 1 core unit, and you were always going to be making a whole bunch of those because you had all that excess matter to work with anyways. That was actually like one of the constants that you could always count on, basically. Your opponent would always have to make some kind of core unit, tier 1 core unit, that would be countered by splash. So that would just make the splash all that much better because you just always knew that it was going to be useful to some degree. I'm glad that they are willing to try out different things, especially with those tier 1 core units. You obviously need to be very careful not to make these units too strong because you always want your later techs to counter these in some way, or just to be naturally stronger as you're teching up. It'll be interesting to see how this shakes up the meta. and how they do balancing all this. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I think I'll definitely be testing these out. I hope they'll be pretty effective. These might also, depending on how useful they are and how popular they might be, might make the destroyers even that much better as well. So keep that in mind going into this next closed beta. So next up we have the Crossbow. As you can see here, it's 100 matter, 100 energy. It's going to be 4 units again. And then unit type ground, trait big, attacks air and ground, gets countered by ground. So as usual, it'll be far more effective against air units than ground units. Crossbow is the first big tier 1 anti-air unit. The main factor of this unit looks to be that they're a lot more splash damage resistant than any other tier 1 anti-air option. However, their weakness is that they're very weak versus all anti-big units. One other thing that might be worth pointing out, though, is because they're anti-air units, it might not be wise to build them against opponents that have ground-based splash, but no air units. While we do like this unique strength and weakness of the Crossbow, and they do look to have their place in the game, we're also exploring what it would mean to lean into this unique factor even more. For example, if in the future we introduce an air unit that deals splash damage against the ground, the Crossbow would be the best choice by far against that type of unit. It's going to depend a lot on the meta, really, for the next closed beta. If your opponents are running a lot of splash damage in combination with other air units, let's say they're running both Swift Shockers and Dragonflies or something like that, your Crossbow is going to be the best tier 1 bang for your buck, so to speak. Now, it might be better for you to run something like the Airship or Heavy Hunter in that case, but if you're not running that in your deck, then the Crossbow might be a good option for you. I can see the Crossbow being more of a niche pick, with it having that big trait. Like they said, because there's no splash damage on any air units yet, it doesn't have that one niche where it just completely dominates. So it'll be interesting to see if this can be like the main tier 1 anti-air unit that people want to go, or if it just provides a nice little extra option for people. And so either way, I think it's going to be nice to have, and I think it'll be even more interesting if they decide to go that route of trying out more AoE damage air units. And next up, it looks like we have the Gargantua, and this looks sick. I love the way this looks. This unit looks very cool. It's 250 cost. Wow, worth 10 units. That's crazy. Unit type ground, trait big, attacks air and ground. Gargantua is an all-around advanced foundry uber unit. Interesting. Okay. Looks super cool. Let's see what they have to say here. So Gargantua is an easy-to-use all-around unit that is strong against most things in the game. The closest comparison to this unit seems to be that this is a ground cat bus that attacks both air and ground. However, because they're big, they do get countered by anti-big units. It's also visually very impressive. So when it was first introduced internally, it was instantly a team favorite in terms of how they look. I can definitely see that. I definitely love the look of this. It's hard to get like a size comparison, so I wonder how big this actually is. But yeah, I'm hoping it's pretty big, so because it definitely looks super cool. Yeah, I can't wait to see all the animations and everything for it too. But anyways, it to me actually sounds almost more like the advanced blink from the first closed beta. The first closed beta had the advanced blink, which sounds like it was similar to this. The advanced blink obviously had the ability to blink around, and I'm going to assume this doesn't have any kind of ability to it. But the advanced blink was also very strong against most things. A lot of people use that a lot just because of how versatile it was. And I definitely used that a lot as well. It wasn't my favorite unit. I definitely preferred the heavy ballista, just because I just had so much fun with the heavy ballista and the splash damage that it could do. But the advanced blinks were very strong, and so if this ends up being similar to those, or even better, then I think you're looking at a potentially extremely strong unit. People usually tend to gravitate towards these versatile units because if they're strong enough, they can just pretty much dominate every situation, be good in every situation. So it sounds like the only thing this unit would really struggle with is the destroyers. Or any kind of anti-big unit. And so then you just want to make sure you have a unit that you can pair along with this that also counters those anti-big units. So I could definitely see this being one of the more popular tier 3 units and potentially one of the strongest units in the game. So I can't wait to try this out. I think it's going to be a lot of fun and very strong too. So definitely make sure you're ready for this one. And then finally, we got the Advanced Destroyer. That'll be 125, 125, 5 units worth, unit type ground, trait anti-big, and attacks ground. Advanced Destroyer is an anti-big advanced Starforge unit that is also a sniper. So that sounds cool. I like that they're putting this into the Advanced Starforge. I like to have some of the same options in the Foundry and in the Starforge. And it's, I think, good that they'll kind of mix up whether it's a tier 2 or tier 3 option. That way it doesn't feel like you're just kind of always going the same route. If we have some different options that are also similar in both the Foundry and Starforge, then it kind of leaves you feeling like you have more options available to you. Like you can kind of mix it up more. And some games go Foundry only, and then some games go Starforge only, and then some games go both Foundry and Starforge. And so I think that makes for a more interesting and fun game when you're able to get a little bit more variety in there. So anyways, they say Advanced Destroyers have the same attack range as the Sniper, but they deal single target damage instead of splash. Compared to the single target Sniper we've had in the previous closed beta test, they deal much less damage against non-big units. So while they might not counter most ground units in general, like the Sniper did, they're still very effective against slow or immobile units such as the Mortar. But where they really shine is fighting against any and all big ground units. I think that also looks very cool. I wonder how fast this is going to be. It sounds like they're going to have really good range, which is pretty crazy, and definitely going to be very strong against any of the big options. So it's also going to be interesting having a tier 3 anti-big option. Ultimately, we can't really know for sure until we try this out for ourselves, or until we get some more specific stats. So I'm looking forward to seeing all the stats on these, just to get a better idea of how effective they might be. I think it's really just all 4 of these units are going to really shake up the meta quite a lot. I think all 4 of these units add a lot of potential to the variations of deck combinations that you can go with. And so, there's nothing more I can say other than I just can't wait for the beta to come back and to dig into all this. So here's one last screenshot they have for you. It says, here's a bunch of existing units mixed in with the 4 new units to show you their sizes in game. Oh, okay, here we go. So this is the Gargantua, and that thing is definitely pretty big. Definitely pretty big. That is super cool. I love that. I can't wait to try that out. I think that's going to be definitely one of the coolest units in the game. Here's the Advanced Destroyer. That looks, pretty big as well. But that looks cool. With the, 4 legs that it has, it kind of makes me think that this unit might have a little bit of speed to it as well. So that'll be interesting. And then it looks like we have here, this is the Knight, and these are the Crossbows. And so, and that's, compared to the Recalls and the Wasps here as well. So yeah, those are definitely pretty big, especially compared to the other tier 1 core units. So that's super cool. I love that size comparison there. Very cool. Anyways, we can't wait to see how the new units turn out in the next closed beta test, and see you in the game soon. Well, we're, a little more than 2 weeks away, I believe. So it's coming up quick. Time is flying by, and it's just going to fly by even faster once we get the game. So I'm super excited. I can't wait for that. Anyways, that's going to do it for me today. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below as well, and that would help out a ton. I'd very much appreciate that. Also, please stay tuned for all the latest news and information on Battle Aces, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon in the next one.